The SEC's Binance complaint also seeks emergency relief, like an asset freeze, expedited discovery, and even the appointment of a receiver. Are there more pleadings coming? Because if you do this, that's the end of Binance.
Look, we as an agency are meant to be merit neutral, Jim. There's a lot of question. There's 10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar. It's called the euro. It's called the yen. They're all digital right now.
For the first time, Gary Gensler reveals his true intentions about crypto. Having a guy like this taking charge of operations against crypto shows how broke in the system is and why we need Bitcoin and future decentralized crypto to thrive more than ever. When someone who understands nothing about the subject says we don't need more digital currencies because we have the dollar or the euro, it says everything about what we're dealing in. This video shows he's not just trying to protect investors but trying to take down crypto once and for all, so please pay attention until the end because this is concerning, and we believe that a new black swan even may be happening soon. When asked if this is the moment for clarity in the crypto space, here's Gary's answer.
Look, I think there's been clarity for years. The investing public has the benefit of the US securities laws. Crypto should be no different. And these platforms, these intermediaries need to come into compliance and protect the investing public. These trading platforms, they call themselves exchanges, are commingling a number of functions which in traditional finance, we don't see the New York Stock Exchange also operating a hedge fund, making markets, and as we alleged in Binance, having a sister organization, flooding the platform with transactions called wash trading, and the lack of controls on the platforms is really a web of deception and conflicts, along with a control person, Mr. Zhao, trying to evade U.S. law.
Why did it take them so many years to act if that's the case?
It takes time. We do things by the book. That's what the American public would want us to do. We follow the facts and the law. And I couldn't be more proud of the investigative teams at the SEC working together with colleagues in our various divisions of trading and markets, our general counsel's office, 5 commissioners. But it really, it's a lot of is a gumshoe, walk in the beat investigation to build a case like what you've seen alleged in a 136-page complaint.
And now comes the scary part. Apparently, they want to freeze Binance's assets, creating a similar bank run as we've seen in the past few weeks. They may be trying to understand if Binance has their assets backed one-to-one like CZ claims, but can Binance survive this attack? Just look at how Gary answers. He seems like a cold-blooded psychopath when asked if he felt anything when he killed people.
Are there more pleadings coming? Because if you do this, that's the end of Binance.
Look, we have concerns, and I think the investing public should be aware of putting their hard-earned assets onto these platforms. But we have concerns when a platform like this puts themselves out to the public, is consciously trying to evade U.S. law and customer funds. You didn't even know who was custodying them. Was it custodied here in the U.S. on the U.S. platform? Was it custodied overseas? Or were some of your funds in crypto possibly moved to affiliates? There are a number of affiliates named in this called Merit Peak and Sigma Chain. It's fundamentally a lack of controls deception, conflicts, and yes, we're going to do that which we can in front of the courts and make, to the extent we can, the facts known and the public protected. Look, we as an agency are meant to be merit neutral, Jim. There's a lot of question. There's 10 to 20,000 tokens. Actually, in the Coinbase complaint, we note that they have, through the Coinbase wallet, you can trade 16,000 different tokens. And there's a lot of debate as to the use cases and whether there's any there. Look, we don't need more digital currency. We already have digital currency. It's called the US dollar, it's called the euro, it's called the yen. They're all digital right now. We already have digital investments. And you have entrepreneurs representing digital investments on this program all day long. And it's whether it's the big tech companies, the automobile companies, you name it. It's all digital right now, the investing world. So what is the real underlying value of these tokens? And that's why you need full, fair, and truthful disclosures. And that's the regime the securities laws was set up. When there's a group of entrepreneurs, those entrepreneurs should be able to put their case in front of the investing public in what's called a filing. That's kind of the bedrock of what President Roosevelt and Congress worked on 90 years ago.
Coinbase was accepted as an American publicly traded company, but despite that fact, it's still under attack. So they approved it, but don't they agree with the underlying business model?
But we've had discussions with literally dozens of crypto incumbents, including the ones that you just mentioned. And what we find is this is a field that's built, the whole business model is built on non-compliance with the US securities laws. And we're asking them to come into compliance, and they're going a bit of catch us if you can. That's a sort of generalization. And they're commingling various functions that traditional finance we don't allow. I mean, the public would be aghast if they thought the New York Stock Exchange was also running a hedge fund trading against them, or allowing wash trading, or lacked controls to protect against fraud and manipulation on the platform. And so the conversations have been constructive, but it's also about them bringing a business model into compliance.
But Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong has been asking for guidance for over a year, having multiple meetings with SEC and trying to understand how to comply with US law.
I mean, we were disappointed to see this complaint from the SEC because I feel like we've had a long history of being very transparent with them and really every regulator around the world that we've worked with. So even going back to 2021 when we became a public company, before becoming a public company, you have to disclose everything about your business in depth. There was many back and forth revisions of our S1. And frankly, they had all the knowledge then, and they allowed us to become a public company. And then we're going through time, and Chair Gensler has statements to Congress saying that he doesn't feel he has the authority to regulate this industry, and we're seeing conflicting statements from the CFTC and the SEC chair, and we even filed a formal petition with the SEC asking them for clarity about a number of points in the law, which they never responded to. And then this Wells notice and a complaint arrives. And well, they allowed us to become a public company understanding the S1, right? And so I feel like that's our moment to be totally transparent with them, show them everything about our business and how it operates. And so it's not great to have a regulator sort of come back later and say, actually, we changed our mind. And by the way, I think you're right. The regulator does have the right to come, edit their thinking at times and come back and say, here's a new set of rules. And great, we'd be happy to follow those. The issue in this case is that we're getting conflicting statements from the CFTC head and the SEC head. And then the statements from the SEC are so, such an outlier. They're saying everything other than Bitcoin is a security. Well, that's not our interpretation of the law. That's not what the law says. And that's not what the position of every other country around the world, their financial regulators, is taking. And so I don't think we really had a choice, honestly. We had to go to court to really see if otherwise this industry is just not going to exist in the United States if we took that position. That is a regulation by enforcement approach. And, we met with the SEC 30 times in the last year. They never gave us a single piece of feedback about what we could be doing better. We just got silence. And when we asked them, how would you like us to register? We have this dormant broker-dealer license. Could we activate that? We really got silence. And so it's not appropriate for the regulator to come back and do an enforcement action if we don't have a clear rule book and clear guidance.
Does Brian look like someone running away from regulators on a catch us if you can posture? He could be hiding or taking his company to another country. Instead, this is what he's doing.
Basically, we're in this environment of, regulation by enforcement. I don't feel like there's a clear rule book. The only sort of high-level statements they've made is that everything other than Bitcoin is a security, which that's just not what it says in the law. And by the way, that would also kind of mean like the end of the crypto industry in the US if that was actually what happened. And so we have to go to court to challenge that. We're proud to do it for the industry and for America.
According to Brian, if they don't win in court, this could be the end of crypto in America. So Gary doesn't even hide his intentions anymore. Is it a coincidence that they are now cracking down on Binance and Coinbase? In case you haven't heard before, we're 1 month away from the release of FedNo, which is not only a new digital payment service but the beginning of their launch of CBDCs. So they are destroying crypto as we know it, intending to have everyone use their digital currencies, which are centralized, with no privacy, and controlled by the government. So Gary and the regulators don't care about investors anymore. This is just part of a bigger plan to regain control. And if you have seen our previous videos, people like Gareth Soloway or Mark Yusko have warned about this for months. Even the FTX and crypto-friendly banks collapses are related to these new events. Is this the end of crypto in the US, translating into a later downfall in the world? What do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and please leave a like and subscribe so you get these daily crypto updates that can help protect your wealth. Thanks.